line it up, but he just can't quite make it happen. FRZ will get the elimination to save the round for the Vikings. A nail biter there for the side of X10, but they can't get it done.
Oh my God, Patipon doing everything but getting the ace to win this. I mean, he is all over the place on this one. Sadak doing a nice job getting the opener, but here comes Patipon. Sutekas gets kind of backed up here towards Orge. Patipon just picking people off. Sutekas actually pushed through the cloudburst of Patipon, but Patipon was there on the side, wasn't quite expecting it. Gets the crossfire onto him, just what you wanted out of him. However, it still wasn't enough. That time Vikings able to hold on that B push. Now thinking about A again, there's that same wall. And this time coming up and over right as it goes down is Sushi Boys. Patipon there to follow up.
Huge instant shutdowns coming through, but Sasi tries to drag this one back. The Hunter's Fury manages to find Fox now. Sushi Boys eliminated. Honey up top, does manage to find Sadak, making this now a 3v1, all on the back of Sutekas as he tries to turn this around. Pressing forward, shot comes in onto Scary, but Patty comes up with a third, keeping them within 2 of tying this up. X10, you can feel it, they are reinvigorated, they are ready to plow forward, they want to take this map.
Man, they are looking good. I mean, Patty is absolutely positively online right now. Gets up on the pipes, doing the things that you need to do with those jets on Icebox, using that verticality. But still, the Vikings haven't found an answer for this toxic screen yet, Kilios. They're really struggling with these A pushes. I think they just need to be a little bit safer on them, just kind of give it up and play for retake if they can't find a better answer to stop those aggressive pushes.
Okay, got confirmation. Round had to be replayed given the issues. The count right now that you are seeing is correct, ladies and gentlemen. So this is 10-8. This is round 19, and that is an opening kill onto the enemy Omen. X10 pressing forward now up onto the B site. They get the spot out with that Neural Theft, locating every remaining member of the Vikings. They have the site secured. Spike still not yet being planted. It's resting in the hands of Sushi Boys here for the moment. Starts inching his way up onto the site, but they still haven't quite yet gone for this. Patty getting that wall bang through onto GTN as he pushes up aggressively, but gets traded back by Sasi, who finds a nice headshot.
Any kills the Vikings can find here are going to be very, very nice. Scary gonna pick off Sadak with the wall bang. Cruz coming through here. He's gonna check under the snow pile. He does.
Fox gonna be traded out, but I mean, it's a 1v3. FRZ, I mean, he would have to kill everybody to get the Bladestorm online, so there's just no way that he could have it available to try to pop off here to get this clutch. Needs to rely on these Sheriff shots. We've seen people do it before. Spots out one. Now Scary's around at yellow. Tries to make them think that he's going to go going for the push. Now goes for it. The blind comes in, though, perfectly timed by Cruz. Scary with the peek will shut him down. And X10 are within 1 round now of tying this up.
This is amazing. I mean, Patipon is really picking it up. Now he's at even on that kill death. 16-16 here, getting up top, doing what he does best, carrying this team. Some great work around here by Scary. Nice setup. Good counter to the smoke there with the guiding light to spot out FRZ at the end. Just really, really exciting stuff here for X10. And this is their specialty, attack on Icebox. They were absolutely dominant against Team Sense last time they did it. I think they won 8 out of 4 or even 9 out of 3. And you can see why. They are fast, furious, and they really know how to take advantage of those sight lines off of those toxic screens. Look at this. They're giving them a different look this time. And they're being really patient, though, are the Vikings. I like this adjustment.
Dark cover coming out to block off at green. They take a couple shots, and that's going to be just about the full rotate now coming in from the Vikings. Slow creep up from FRZ, making his way out of A over towards the attacker's spawn. They'll try to get a decent little flank angle. The rest of the squad situated now on B. Drone here from Fox. Going to scout forward, spots the Killjoy shoulder. So shots to start flying. Still not seeing the spike getting planted yet. The paranoia going to be used. They wait that out. They start pushing the corner. They try to get rid of the alarm bomb, but the peak is going to be so very good here for the Vikings. X10 getting ripped to shreds. Fox the last one to fall. Vikings, they stop the onslaught. They stop the momentum here from X10. It was so many rounds in a row, but now they are just 2 away from taking this.
Well, that time, that guiding light was a bit of a bait there for X10. they were, ready to push off of it. You can see they waited out, even though it gives the audio cue that it blinded somebody. Didn't blind Sutekas, and he comes around the corner. Him and Saucy picking up 2 there in the finish. The triple for Sutekas on the Omen. Very nicely done, and I like the patience from Vikings. I also like the idea by X10 to throw a different look with that toxic screen setup to try for B instead, but doesn't fool the Vikings.
Creative angle to get that dart through. Oh, Barzee falling down to 50 HP. The knives now going to be burned here from Potty. Does still have the Spectre to rely on. So we see the Hunter's Fury coming out from Fox, looking to try to get the track in on a Sonic to finish him off. Can't quite make it happen, but Potty gets himself into prime position, finds the shot, shuts down the enemy Killjoy. And now we see this is going to be X10 fully pulling out of the A site, starting to rotate over to B.
Yeah, you can see that there's only Sutekas over here right now. There's the toxic screen over on the B. Potentially being put up in just a second. Keep that Cypher utility over towards mid to watch what's going on over there. And most of the members, oh, you do have Pottypon over on A though. He might be able to punish.
He's inching forward. FRC's still there to try to shut him down. He will manage to find that kill. Sushi Boy's gonna get dropped, but now a 3v3. As the spike not yet planted, just waiting this one out. Push around the back. Cruz has the lineup, manages to find 2 of them. That's 3 kills for him so far in the round, and now it's all on FRZ. He tries to get the wall bang to the box. That's not where the spike was being planted. Scary gets the finish, and X10, they bounce back yet again. 1 round away from tying this up. This very well could be an OT.
I really love the idea here to keep Pottypon over there. It doesn't fool FRZ. He manages to pick it up, and all of a sudden it looked like it might be a good retake for the Vikings, but then Cruz steps out, lines him up, knocks him down. Big moment there for him, and 11-10. My goodness, Achilleos, overtime, I'm feeling it.
As am I, but both of these teams, they would love to avoid it at all costs. They don't want to get pushed into those extra innings. Shot instantly there, though, from Potty. A great peek into mid, finds the headshot, pulls away just at the moment there as Saucy does push. They do manage to find 2 more. Cruz and Fox both falling. Potty trading another one back, trying to keep them in this game, keeping things even up at 3-3. But there's so much damage pushed into Sushi Boy, down to 26 HP. Will be the spike carrier for now. They have to figure out where they want to route this spike. Seems like for now it's going to be the inch forward here through green. Tekas peeking out, finds both of them. The wall. Oh my God, he just gets the collat through on a Scary with the headshot. Incredible. Now it's all on Potty. He's inching forward. He hasn't checked left to look at yellow. And yep, there you go, to the back of the skull. 4 kills for the Omen player here on the side of the Vikings. They yet again win around. They're just 1 away from closing out Icebox. X10 need to win 2 straight if they want to take us into overtime.
I mean, Potty's, his spatial senses just kind of left him a little bit there at the end of this. But Sutekas here, again, we saw Cruz last round. Now it's Sutekas' turn. Easy lineup, easy double right there. And I was kind of hoping that X10 would re-rotate back towards A. They had their Cypher utility over there to kind of check on if any members of Vikings were lurking out. No one was. They could have made a re-rotate potentially, but they opted to try to push into B, and they paid the price.
Well, now drone to start. Just trying to scout out. Get the word that GTN's playing. On the side of the map, they know that he has that showstopper available. No Hunter's Fury to try to counteract this lockdown as well that will almost certainly be used. That's going to be the Seekers used first. Viper's Pit coming in. Possibly going to be eliminated. GTN with a showstopper does manage to find Cruz, however. Turning one back, but Fox pushes forward, manages to find him. Scary going to be taken down. That's the Viper's Pit now dropping the spike. Recovered. Killjoy, the lockdown getting ready to go off as Fox barely makes it out of that radius within time. But again, 3v3. They're looking to move over towards B. So Tekas is still holding this down.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering how they're going to adjust to Sutekas this time. Oh, Pottypon gets out of there just in the nick of time. And again, Sutekas with that smoke, getting a pretty good sightline, but a little frustrated with his shooting.
Oh, it's a good paranoia. Potty, however, he still has the lineup. He gets the kill. And that is going to be absolutely huge here for the side of X10 to try to keep the ball rolling. They go for the double peek. Sushi Boys comes up with a headshot. Just like that, it's all on FRZ. Needs to clean up 3 to clutch this round to win Icebox.
All right, let's see
Lots
if
of
he
trap
can
wire.
do it. Oh, yeah.
That slows
Yep,
him up. It
nicely
gives his
done.
position away.
I don't
See,
think
they're
this is gonna
covering
be,
all angles here.
yeah, too surprising at all. What's going on with this? You can see Sushi Boy's gonna push up, and he's not gonna be able to do it. FRZ gets one, 2 more to go.
It's a little bit of damage into him. Oh, man. The reload. The timing is there. Fox goes on the peak. Gets the shutdown to keep their hopes alive. Their heads above the water. X10, one more round to go. Do we finally see an overtime?
I think we will. I really like the adjustment here by X10. Things kind of fell apart on A. You lose the Viper's Pit, and immediately they back off, head over to B, which is way more open. Sutekas kind of uncharacteristically misses the lineup underneath his smoke, and just really isn't A. And you can see he kind of shot into the yellow because he was frustrated. And that, I don't know if that really cost him that much against Potty Pond, but it is what it is.
Oh, Blade Storm off the bat here. Potty has this ready. The Neural Theft also online. Tries to go for the shots. Doesn't manage to get the hits. Redraws out with the Bulldog. Currently just sitting here above on tube. They got starting to push forward. The Neural Theft going to be coming in from Sushi Boys, but this great angle. They're prepped for it. They shut down the Omen. The drop down coming through. Fox is trying to get the push, but it's not before Potty gets taken out. So Tegas manages to find that crucial kill. Now he's looking through window. Spots one. Goes for the weapon swap, drawing out with the Bulldog. Scary moving up, manages to find one. It's going to be a 1v2 to try to make this happen. Fox all on his lonesome. The dart coming through. Has to take that down. The spike dropped. They line up for him, but he cannot get the shot to come in. FRZ gets the last kill of the map. 13-11. Damn close, but X10, they can't quite push us into that OT. Team Vikings will take map 1 of this best of 3.
I mean, that was a crazy one. Fast-paced, furious. Potty Pond finally getting into it for X10, doing a nice job with those entries, as you would expect, being all over the place. And it still just wasn't quite enough. They took the Vikings to the limit. An interesting round there at the end. Potty Pond gets up on top of that tubes, and then Sushi Boys comes pushing out over the snow pile, and he just isn't ready for Sutekas there. I think he assumed that that corner was checked or something, or Sutekas doing a good job a couple times here, just being right out of the vision of X10 and punishing them on their moves. And yeah, that's just a good double peek there.
I mean,
it's a finish.
It could have been so easily punished had he been able to get that first headshot on the FRZ, but they get him just a little bit faster, so they're able to take it away. But man, so close there for X10. I mean, like Crazy Raccoon, they are putting up a fight. They're showing that they are here to compete, and that people should not be sleeping on this region. They should not be sleeping on this squad. Potty, Scary, both of them, phenomenal performances throughout this. And now we get ready to look forward to Ascent, where they have such a dominant win record. If you missed it before, 15-1 on this map in 2021, 19-1 all time. Ascent is the playground for X10, and I gotta wonder what Vikings has prepared for this map to try to best them on it.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see this game, because with what I saw here from X10, now I'm pretty confident that they have a really good shot to take Ascent and bring us to a third map, because this was fast, this was furious. The gunplay was the one thing I was a little concerned about, but once Potty Pond got it together, all of a sudden it seemed like they were on very even footing in that respect. I mean, the Thai players, they're crazy, they're aggressive, and they never give up, man. They're so confident, they're so fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. But guys, with map 1 going the way of the Vikings, we're going to step away for a quick little break. When we come back, X10 will have their next chance to try to tie up this series and force us into a game 3. So do not go anywhere. The action continues in just a bit.
Welcome back, everyone, as we just watched Team Vikings take map 1 versus X10. And so far, everyone's predictions are looking pretty good so far. I'm Golden Boy, your host, joined once again by my esteemed colleagues here, the analyst desk-ish area that we've been dubbing it this whole time. We got Potter, Doug, and Tom Biz. And, you know, I mean, look, right out of the gate, I mean, let's just go ahead and roll these highlights courtesy of Prime Gaming once we get a moment to do so, because Potter, you know, it felt like Patapan was doing everything he could to will his team across the finish line.
He certainly was. And, you know, we were talking about it in the green room. The man is so active at every point. Anytime the camera panned on him, he was looking, he was searching, he was sniffing. He wanted to find the duels. And in the first half, it was a little bit iffy, a little bit shaky. But man, that second half, he absolutely dominated, winning out majority, if not all of the duels that he took. And we gotta talk about the old man Suitcast. He is such a damn anchor, just holding down the fort towards the B. It seemed like X10, even though they were bouncing back, even though they made this so close, it was Suitcast, man. He was anchoring. He did not let them come through into the site.
Yeah, time and time again, Doug, we were seeing that happen. Suitcast had an opening. He had an opportunity. He went for it. He gave his team the upper hand. And that is basically going to be what Vikings needs if they want to walk away the champions of Iceland.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think the anchors were great. Even seeing the play that we're looking at right now, it was just a perfect setup for them to stuff any sort of push. And it really felt like, you remember that old Marshawn Lynch video where he's like putting the team on his back?
Yeah.
I won't finish the quotes because some of them are not family friendly, but that's kind of what it felt like Patapan was having to do. And there was no, as heroic, as Herculean of an effort as it was, there was just too much out of Vikings at the end. And I would even go so far as to say is this could be very similar to what we saw from Newturn yesterday, where the beginning was close, right? They got kind of pushed around a little bit. They had some questionable decisions, but as the series goes on, as they get more comfortable, I think they will perform better than we saw on map 1.
Yeah, you might be right. I mean, it could very well be the case. But, you know, Tom, something just strikes me different with this X10 lineup versus what we saw with Sharks. It feels like that what they're doing is they're setting themselves up better for success in some of these rounds.
Yeah, they had some cool ideas. I think this round in particular, you see like a much deeper Viper Wall coming out from them, and like the Poison Orb as well thrown in to cover off the back of the site. They like to get, as you can see, Padafan getting a little bit more aggressive. Now, sure, this is more of an eco round, and I think that there was some very decent adaptations coming out from the Vikings, but I definitely think that the core ideas that were coming out from X10 were very good. And we saw that in the defensive half as well. Even though they ended up losing more heavily on that side of the map, they had these aggressive ideas at the beginning. It was just those mid rounds. I think that's where they had more of the issue, because we saw the strong in-game leading on the side of Vikings to adapt throughout the game, whereas I think X10 had a lot of good plans initially, and then things just seemed to fall apart in the mid rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Tom, to piggyback off of that a bit, I think that's something that I think that right there, what you just touched on, is the expanse between the top of the field and the bottom, right? Like, anybody can have set pieces. Anybody can know what they want to do at the opening of a round, but when things go sideways, right? When you hit a bump in the road, when things happen that you don't expect, how do you adjust? That's the mark, in my opinion, of a championship caliber team. That's what sets teams apart. And I think that's where we saw some teams stumble yesterday, and that's where it felt like X10 came up just a bit short today. Yeah.
And now X10, Potter, are going to have quite the task on their hand because they're going to be taking on a very game Vikings on, I believe they're going to be playing on Ascent, which is a fantastic map for them. Do you foresee this potentially being a quick 2-0 in favor of the Brazilians?
I don't think so, Golden Boy. I don't think so. I'm not going to change my prediction yet, but as I said, X10, they were swinging, and they were swinging hard. At certain points on this Icebox match, I thought that they were going to win it. In fact, I thought they were going to have a blowout second half, and it was starting to look that way. When I see this 100% win rate on Ascent and it being the second map, I don't know, man. I'm starting to become a believer in this X10 squad right now.
All right. Well, could Patapan and the X10 boys will themselves over to Game 3? We'll find out. Let's send it over to your casters to break it all down.
Alrighty, thank you very much, Golden Boy, Achilleos, and Paper Thin back here to take you guys through the action. Man, what a mouse mat that is.
Woo!
Oh,
man.
Dude's just styling. I like it.
I'm okay with it. Oh, there's another one. Look at this.
Okay.
The trend.
Matching. Well.
I feel like that would be a bit distracting for me, Achilleos, but, whatever works for them.
The bright colors, maybe draw the eye down, but, yeah, clearly they're making it work as they were able to take map 1. But, I do agree with Potter. X10 looking great. This is a huge map for them as well as we get ready to go on to Ascent. So we very well could be staring down the barrel of a 3-map series. It just comes down to whether or not they can find their groove. It's a really great bounce back from X10 after the extended pause. They almost were able to run us into that OT. So let's see what happens as we do get ready to hop in and see what these agent compositions are going to look like. Anticipating that we're going to be seeing a lot of similarities just from, the last times that they played. Maybe not going to be showing off anything too new, but we'll have to just wait and see.
Yeah, considering both of them played the exact same lineups that they ran the very last times they both played Icebox, it shouldn't be super different in what we would normally see. X10 here, they like Astra, Jet, Killjoy, Sky, Sova. And for the Vikings, well, let's just look and see what they pick. Yep, that's exactly what they normally do. GTN on Raze, FRZ on Phoenix instead of Jet. There you go.
All right, well, not too shocking. Still going to be Viperless here. We do have a couple teams that like to run the Viper on Ascent, but will be avoided for the time being. So nothing too shocking here, but...
Well, wait.
Potty shifting over onto the Sage. This is going to be a major change of pace for him in particular.
I had already written in Jet for him. I'm not even going to lie, because I just assumed he was going to be playing Jet. But him on Sage, what in the world is this going to look like? Now my eyes are thoroughly focused on Pottypon to see what he's going to look like on a Sage instead of Jet. He is predominantly a Jet player. He's, when's the last time I'm going to have to look at the last, he hasn't even played Sage this year, right?
Well,
has he? I don't even know, man. It's been
It's definitely a major change of pace here for him. So we'll see how he's going to be piling this one. Scary as well, moving off of the Viper now over onto the Astra to try to slow down some of these pushes from the side of the Vikings as they do kick things off on the attack. Straight out the gate, looking like a little shoulder peek, just jiggling around into mid. Fox going to be pulling back away from the dark cover, starting to rotate over towards that alley access to B. That's going to be the curveball push. Weapon drawn out, and Cruzy fights two with a frenzy. Are you joking? I thought he was going to get traded out there, but no, he comes up huge. Patty follows up for another, and this is looking like a flawless round right now for X10 at the start of this defense.
Well, this is X10 doing their homework. This is exactly the same start that the Vikings did against Sharks on this map on their attacker side. They rush right through mid on the pistol round and just try to make it work. Does not fool X10 at all. They're able to lock it down, shut it down.
Absolutely enormous start. And there you go. Sushi Boys, the final headshot will lock in the Prime Gaming. Flawless for X10. What a statement start here on Ascent. A huge round for them. And let's go ahead. Yeah, POV of Cruz. Just, yep, there you go. Just leaping around like a bunch of blind fools, just getting mowed down.
That's a great guiding light right there. That's 3 of them, and makes for easy pickings, particularly with that frenzy. So very well anti-stratted here by X10. Now on the follow-up, I'm really curious to see what the Vikings do on their eco round. There is one frenzy in the hands for Saucy.
Potty's still going to be sticking through with a frenzy. Fox here with that ghost. Blind comes through. Spray's going to be good from Cruz. Finds Sutagas now into the corner. Instant snap onto FRZ's head. Oh my god, it is just an absolute shooting gallery right now. Do we have back-to-back flawlesses? Can they make it happen? It's looking good for them, and they will in fact do it again. Back-to-back Prime Gaming flawlesses here for X10. An incredible start for them, but now we get some actual weapons in the hands of Vikings. Let's see if they can use them to finally put a kill on the board.
Yeah, I'm really curious what the Vikings are going to want to run. They really like to establish mid-control early, and it falls apart. X10 were very prepared for this. Very good homework being done. Now, let's see if they try to go over to A with the rifle round to the Vikings. What exactly is going to be the difference? Because this is just a massacre. Just an absolute mauling by X10.
Yeah. Brutal start, but now we should see things slow down a little bit more. But as I said, that body, look at this boost. He gets himself up over towards B lobby. He's going to force out the use of the nano swarm here from Sadak. He's worried about that push coming in even further. So even when he's not on the jet, he finds way to make jet plays. Spots out one. That's going to be the boom bot destroyed. And he'll just go ahead and pull back.
Someone needs to tell him he's not playing jet right now. Someone needs to remind him. Man, oh man.
He's like, oh, well, now I can heal myself, so screw it. I'm just going to go in deep.
Yeah, I could do all the things I could do with Jet, but I could also heal and res people occasionally.
Yeah, and he can get healed as well by Cruz, so they can just top each other up if they need to. Well, the wall now going to be destroyed.
The Reyna for the real tank comp here.
Yeah. Just never dying. Always healing. Spray through the smoke. Scary, just looking for a straight hit. Won't be able to find any. Well, as I say that, does actually tag up Sadak there for just a moment, but it's not going to be too significant damage. Spike now going to be recovered. It seems like this will end up being an A hit at the end of the day. Still going to be 3 members-ish over by this site. We have Sushi Boys and Fox set up. Purple, not going to find anything. The Nano Swarm chipping away at him. To spray through the smoke. Fox gets the headshot with the Vandal. Throws out that shock dart. Won't get a connection. Doesn't find any additional damage. They are in onto the site with the spike getting planted just below Hell. Or just outside of it, rather. GTN with a very nice headshot will shut down Potty. That's going to be a lot of the healing gone. We'll see if X10 can get this retake in a 4v4.
There's so much pressure on Sutekas over at main. There's the Astra smoke there to kind of block that off for now. GTN going to be watching up towards Heaven. Going to get the headshot, gets traded out in return. There's another one underneath Hell. Looking pretty good here.
Yeah, and there you go. The cleanup comes through as Saucy will manage to find the last 2 kills in the round. So Vikings, they do get some kills on the board. They do get that round victory. See if X10 can reply, as they do have enough money, obviously, to buy some rifles here for themselves. Try to shut down this economic buildup that we're seeing from Vikings here with a round win.
So even though there's a lot of attention being paid at the main door here for X10, there's nobody up in heaven, and that allows Vikings to get pretty deep in here, get the plant down, and set up their crossfires. One thing that really impressed me about the Vikings in my VOD review was their post-plant setups on A. They really do a good job of covering each other. They constantly are focused on making sure they have somebody in main, somebody lurking out of, whoops, well, that's a body pond thing. Oh my God.
Oh, I feel like there's no worse feeling when you have the lineup on a hard angle like that and then you lose to the peeker. Like, you have the advantage. You're trained on that spot. But Potty just out-aims him and out-reacts him. It's incredible there from him to get that pick. A huge opening now for the side of X10.
And I don't feel like, you don't expect it with that ferocity. With a Sage, normally it'd be a Raze or a Jet doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of like other Sages, that we have in the Korean region that are like this, and I feel like Zest maybe and Stacks occasionally when they would play it on Icebox. But other than that, like, we don't have too many battle Sages over on this side of the world. But Potty, huge performance from him so far. Ton of damage getting pushed out onto the members of Vikings now as they're going to be planting in the same little spot here. Flame wall going to be called up. 2 members hovering around Hell as the Seekers go forward. Cruz trying to make his way through that wall, but takes quite a bit of damage on the drop down there. Fox going to be eliminated. Wall comes in to block off Saucy. Patty will find FRZ. Sadak still hovering here in Hell. Lines up one, but Scary is ready for him in the end. As Pottypon manages to find 3 kills in the round. The defuse is going to be handed over to him so he can get that res online for the next round. And that's going to be 3-1 now for X10 with a very dominant start to this defense.
Oh my goodness, this wall is so smart from Pottypon. Completely cuts off Saucy and just makes it so difficult for them to do anything. All of a sudden, all these gorgeous crossfires that the Vikings like to set up are just eliminated. Everybody's stuck in Hell. Just so smart here from X10. I am so impressed with their ability to adjust on the fly, round to round. You can see there. Give him that peace symbol, my friend. Well done. Very well done by Pottypon.
I absolutely love this guy. He's so fun to have. This is why player cams are great. This is why LAN is great. We can get these reactions where they just ham it up. I'm sure Potty is going to be finding a huge influx of followers on his Twitch and Twitter after this one.
As he should. He's earned it. He's looking fantastic here today.
Well, Boombot not going to be able to make his way in through tree. Will not locate Scary. Will get smoked off here for the moment. Spraying through.
Who's there? Gives the ping out, but Vikings kind of backing off onto this, heading more in towards mid. They really want to take control of mid. Of course, mid so important on Ascent for the attacker side. If they can get control of it, they can really assert their dominance as they go. Scary. Well, there's the lockdown for them as well. Gonna push Scary around. Gonna try to take it down with the Hunter's Fury. Gonna get it. Take it down. Very nicely done.
Yeah, had that prep, so it doesn't find too much. It also wasn't really going to lock off the B side at all, so it wouldn't have displaced anybody, that would have been hovering around Boathouse like Sushi Boys has been this entire time. Drone will get the dart onto him. Great headshot there from FRZ. Takes down Fox. Scary, however, spotting them, trying to get the wall bang. Doesn't manage to find it. Res is going to be used. Sushi Boys eliminated, displaced from the site now. It's open. The retake has to come in. That's a great start. Potty managing to find one. Is he prepared for the close angle? He is not. Sadak strikes him down with a frenzy. Shock dart from Saucy as well. Finds Scary. 2 members left. Pushing forward with the Ares. Finds one point blank. Cruz presses in. Finds another. Great Sheriff shot. Gets rid of the enemy Sky. But Fox is ready for it. Gets the headshot. Will have the defuse. It's going to be the clutch from him. And that is going to be 4 rounds now on the board for X10.
Yeah, Pottypon comes in there, and it felt like he might have been going in a little bit early, a little bit ahead of his teammates, but he gets a lot of information, at least, on what's going on that site, able to relay it back to his teammates. They all come in from both sides here. Look at this. They're hitting it at the same time. Guiding Light over, followed up by Cruz and Fox, doing a really nice job. Saucy gets the information, just not able to find the shot. Fox is ready for him around the corner. Very nicely done here by X10. Another good retake for them, and really good patience on this, and it's kind of a weird situation when you have the lockdown and they have the Hunter's Fury, right, Achilleos? Like, it's kind of like a rock paper scissors game. Do you use it now? Do you hang on to it? It's kind of a tough decision to make.
It's credit where it's due. Still a really good round there for the side of Vikings, doing quite a bit of damage to the side of X10. Trying to soften
Yes.
up their pockets just a little bit, make them, make those walls a bit more empty. So you can see the Spectre coming through, the Guardian there for Cruz as well. So aren't going to be on a completely full purchase with rifles, no operators to be seen yet. So it was a very good eco at the end of the day, but it's X10 who still maintain a nice little 3-round streak here, keeping their heads well above the Vikings. FRZ getting chunked at the 26, gonna have to top himself back up with the hot hands, so pulls back off a short for now.
All right, Sutekas gonna be making his way towards mid, silently up here with Sadak. Door is already closed though, so they're gonna make their way through there. They're gonna have to make a little noise to get in. So the reinforcements now making their way into B main with Spike in hand. Killjoy there as well. But other than that, not a lot of defense at the B main door.
Yep, door's gonna be broken. Nanoswarm's used to make sure that they try to stave them off from pushing through B main. Will make their way out with the help of that blind from the curveball. FRZ finds Sushi Boys tucked away in the cubby. Good opening kill. And now they will have this B side. Potty gonna be caught off guard. Really good lurk here from Sutekas. Now teleports over to the side. Can exit back through B lobby, rejoin with the rest of the squad, or continue to play lurk here. Try to cut off any market access. Scary going to be eliminated now. As he tries to push forward. One Guardian kill to be found. Now it's just Cruz left alive. Starting to inch his way backward. Wants to recover this Vandal and hold on to it. Or not.
Yeah, this is...
Does he want the Guardian? Okay, he wants the Guardian. Never mind.
All right.
You do you.
Was it out of bullets or something? That's the only thing I can think. I didn't check. But, oh, he's just going to try to wait, see if he can maybe pop ahead on the exit. But nobody from Vikings is going there. This time around, though, Achilles, Vikings really making a very nice adjustment, being very patient, waiting for the right moment to strike, and catches X10 kind of not really ready. It's fast and furious. They have a great run it back to take Sushi Boy down around the corner. That was fantastic work from the Vikings. Adjustments after adjustments from both of these teams, and now mid-control established by the Vikings. What's going to be the response from X10 is my real question. And this is Sutekas. I got to give him so much credit here. He is playing fantastic right now in these lurks. When he's asked to hold down sites by himself on Icebox, he was doing a great job over on B. Just really, really impressive stuff from him.
Yeah, a wonderful lurk to really ensure that that was going to be irredeemable from the side of X10. And again, looking for this boost setup. Gravity Well finds one, but the Recon Bolt will find Potty. He's going to have to pull back, takes a little bit of damage, clears out that Recon. Shock Dart, not quite going to connect. But Scary already eliminated, and then here's the headshot lineup. GTN getting some revenge earlier after that peek in B lobby. Falls up onto Cruz, and this is just looking like a very done round. I mean, Sheriff round purchase, here for the side of X10. Not going to be feeling the most confident about closing this out, and now with just Sushi Boys on as lonesome. He's going to try to pull back, but they are going to very much go on the hunt for him as they get ready to set the spike up at B.
Yeah, it's a Sheriff in a dream here. Not going to happen. GTN going to find his third of the round, and the Vikings doing a fantastic job. They sensed that Potty Pond was going to get aggressive because immediately the Boom Bot and the Recon Dart were there in Clock Tower. They were ready for this, and they punish it. The aggressiveness from X10 is their response to the mid-control established by Vikings in the previous round, but the Vikings back off, set up the angles to take them out as they try to push through, and a great headshot around the corner there for GTN, making up for that little whoopsie early on.
Yep, gets 3 kills there in that flawless round, so very nicely done. They do manage to put one on the board for themselves. So now 3 to 4, keeping it close.
with that angle hold there. I don't think Potty Pond's coming through there this time. He's still chilling out.
He's lurking way in the spawn, yeah. Did get confirmation, though. Potty has played Sage 3 times in his Valorant career. None of those were in the last 90 days.
Yeah,
so
I was going to say.
Something they've been scrimming with, for sure. Don't think he would just be like, screw it. You know what? I played that half a year ago. Let me bring it back out. But it's been working a treat for the most part. Definitely some flashiness to it.
He's had some really good ideas. That wall to cut off A main earlier was fantastic. Drone out ahead to Scout, gonna get shot down. Smoke is in, trying to Gravity Well. That's a good one.
Yep, spray does come through. They manage to get the kill there onto FRZ. Obviously still gonna be halfway to that run it back, so not able to have it yet. We'll see that from the shadows getting used. So Tekas putting himself over at Market, gets the headshot in onto Potty. Now looks to break down this Market door. Does have 2 members waiting for him.
30 seconds
Play this a little bit slower as he waits for the rest of his squad to rotate over from A. That gets a spot there onto Fox, who pulls back over onto the site. Looks to jump up on the opposite side. Lockdown is used at A. They think that this is still going to be an A hit. They think that this is going to be just the Omen trying to distract, but this is in fact going to be the B. Great shutdown there from Fox, however, does manage to find GTN, interrupting, making sure the showstopper doesn't find any value. Tekos gets rid of Fox. Cruz finds one, can't snap onto Saucy fast enough, however, and will get taken down. Now it's going to be a 2v2 for the attempted retake. This is when you would love to have this lockdown, but they've already burned it.
Yeah, here comes the Cosmic Divide, though. Saucy getting it done around the corner. Gets the headshot on the Sushi Boys. Woo!
Might not matter at all. Turret has to be broken down, tucks his way down into the corner. Spots out Saucy, looks for the push, but as he presses out, will get pinched from both sides. 3 kills there for Saucy, and Vikings, they tie us up 4-4.
Man, what a clutch there from the Sova. Gets that kill with the Phantom, is able to get the plant down just in the nick of time. Another fantastic lurk here from Sutekas, but this round is all Saucy. Another failed entry by GTN. Those blast packs aren't fooling anybody. Then he's able to hold it down from Bolts, and doing a very nice job there at the end. Picks up his 3rd kill. Huge, huge play.
Yeah, absolutely incredible from him. Great for them to go ahead and tie up the map. We do have a technical pause, however, so give it a moment and then get back into the action. See who will be able to take a lead here. X10, I mean, what an explosive start for them, but this has been a major turnaround. Vikings absolutely taking prevalence here on the map now, both, you know, just explosively and economically. So ball is very much in their court. X10 gonna have to try to bounce back after these losses.
It was a great early read by X10 on the pistol round and the follow-up, knowing that they like to try to pressure through mid. Good adjustments onto the A attacks by Vikings, putting the wall up to cut off main. It's a great back and forth. Then the Vikings able to successfully push through into Market, pretty much undetected even though the door is closed. They use that as an opportunity to be patient, let their teammates get into B main, and then all strike at the same time. And then after that, they wait for X10. They read him like a book in that follow-up.
It's just a very big misread from Sushi Boys. I mean, he thinks that the hit is still going to be happening on B, so throws that down to try and dissuade them from, from pushing forward. But, I mean, Vikings, they wore this play on their sleeve. They said, no, we are going into B. This Omen is not baiting. He is just opening things up for us and trying to scout for some information. So they end up burning the lockdown. They don't even get the Hunter's Fury out of Saucy to try to trade that. And it just results in them tying it up 4-4. So fantastically done from the side of Vikings. A bit of egg on the face there of Sushi Boys. We'll see how they reply once we can get back into game. Because, you know, after the last pause, hopefully, granted, you know, it doesn't go that long, but after the last one, they had a very explosive return. So maybe this little brief reprieve is exactly what they need to get their heads back into the game. But obviously, coach is not going to be in comms with the players during this moment. Just have to stay situated, not getting any sort of strategic advice.
You know, I thought you made a really great point there about that lockdown. These hard reads that X10 has made a couple times here in this match against the Vikings. Like, remember back on Icebox when they just, like, hard stacked B? You know, they just, like, assumed that Vikings were going to do that, and it's kind of flopped for them a couple times here in that lockdown, and a similar thing where they just are like, all right, they're definitely going to be hitting A. Let's push them back and buy some more time because the clock is ticking down. And if they guess right, to be fair, if they guess right on that lockdown, then they probably win that round because there isn't enough time to plan.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't go their way, unfortunately. See the players and the coaching staff waiting patiently for this to be resolved so we can get back into the action, see how things are going to unfold. 8 rounds gone, so 4 more to go here in the half. We'll see, again, you know, who is going to be able to take this lead. X10, they really need this map. This has been their bread and butter throughout all of 2021, so if they can't get the win on Ascent, then it becomes a very dire situation for them. You know, in the tournament overall. It would send them down into the lower bracket, and if they can't win on a map where you're 15-1, That's just rough tidings, and that can really, mess with you mentally as well.
For sure, for sure. And Ascent, even though, again, that Vikings lost the last time they played Sharks in the finals at the Brazil qualifiers, they did beat them on the previous time because it was a loser's bracket.
I like this. I like that we've killed two birds with one stone. We decided to go straight from the technical pause into the tactical timeout. I mean, this makes sense. There's already a lull in the action. Use this now so you can actually communicate with the coaches and, get a little bit of a mental reset to come in here and try to find success in this 9th round.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really, really curious. We've got the Bucky, a Spectre in the hands here on an eco round for X10. So this one's going to be a little bit tricky for sure. What exactly is Potty Pond thinking over there by Pizza right now?
I mean,
is he going to try the wall again? Is that like...
And this is just something that we just don't really see ever since the changes realistically to the Bucky. That gun has fallen by the wayside very much so, at least in the Korean region in particular. We don't see it too much. We did see a double kill on short with a shorty just yesterday, so who knows what's possible realistically. But this is a very aggro, turtled up defense now.
Yeah, I think the Vikings just being very cautious, knowing the economic situation here, of course, that, close-range weapons are going to be in the hand. In fact, there's 2 Buckies in the hands of X10, a Spectre as well for Cruz. The Sheriff's usually pretty powerful for X10, but they feel comfortable enough going for these. There are a lot of bottlenecks. You can utilize these guns on Ascent. Like you mentioned yesterday, it was that double shorty in this exact same spot almost.
You can see that curveball getting ready from FRZ. Snaps the fingers. There it goes. Manages to catch one. Sushi Boys, at the same time, gets the headshot through onto the enemy Phoenix. So it's going to be a 2-for-1 trade out given the weapon economy here for the side of X10. That is absolutely massive for them. They will pull back. They're getting the read correctly that this is going to end up being a B rotation. The Seekers go out. Spots them coming in. Blind comes through. They go in for the push. One Bucky shot, not going to net the kill. Another one into the chest of GTN. Doesn't finish him off, but the Hunter's Fury will. Hopping through in onto the side. Sadak not quite ready for Sushi Boys to be waiting in the corner. Gets the kill. The drone will spot out the last remaining member, and the cleanup will be there. It's going to be 1 rifle for the moment. Looks like 2 recovered at the end of the day. Or Bucky there for Sushi Boys.
It's a thrifty.
Okay, he got the Bucky, but yes, it is going to be a thrifty victory. So fantastically done by X10. They go ahead and they scoop up that round win.
I mean, I just got to scratch my head a little bit here on this push through a really tight corners area on a round where your opponent is likely to have guns that, even if it's just Sheriffs, are better at close range. And it just doesn't pan out. I would have preferred to see either A main or B main slow pushes there for Vikings, see if they can get some picks. Long range, utilize those guns, but just doesn't happen. There's Potty Pond. Oh,
look at this. He's just changing up these boost locations. They're not prepared for it. The dark cover is actually just completely denying vision of the wall. Had they been able to see that, they would have fully been able to anticipate that he is going to be boosted up on top of it. And he just comes up with this quick kill. Picking out Satekas now. Looking for the A side spike being brought around through Gelato at the moment here by Sadhak, but Sushi Boys situated in onto the site already finds one. FRZ going to be eliminated. We'll have to run it back for the next round, but unable to utilize it here right now. GTN trying to push his way in through tree. Sushi Boy still holding the angle, trying to pre-spray him. Will manage to get his skull in the end as Sadak falls to the off shot from Fox. Hunter's Fury from Saucy just basically saying, like, yep, I'm right over here by Wine. And now he's got a triple peek ready for him as he swings around this corner, and there you go. The off shot will put him in the grave. 6-4, X10 bouncing back yet again. They give themselves a nice little 2-round stretch lead.
These initial cheeky maneuvers that Potty Pond is able to pull out with these walls really is a game changer right now. It throws the Vikings into complete disarray. They force the issue through short A. I mean, and then they just get mowed down trying to go through the door. They lose 2 in the process, and they're stuck out in A main, and what are you going to do? It's just really, really good stuff here from X10. Great read on these follow-up rounds after our tech pause.
Well, let's see if they can keep that going, or if Vikings can turn this around into their favor. Slow orb coming out over to A main. So they start inching their way forward. FRC just going to be eliminating that sentry for the moment. Patty situated up on top in heaven with that operator in hand, but he's going to be the first one to fall. FRC finds the kill. Blind is going to be good. They find one kill as Cruz takes out GTN, but it is just going to be an absolute slaughter here at the hands of the Vikings. Just one remaining member here as it's going to be Fox, and he just fearlessly charges through the door and is greeted with death. I appreciate the chutzpah that he showed right there, but it doesn't get anything done.
You got an Odin and a dream, man. Just go for it. Why not? Oh, man. Great entry here for the Vikings, though. You know, putting the smoke up into heaven. You know, they kind of avoid a lot of Sadok's utility. A lot of it's more focused at the door. Now you can see they're putting it back towards B main this time. Or excuse me, A main, seeing if they can maybe catch them off. But it's a full stack over on the B side right now, but it looks like it could be a mid push. Bodypon gets forced out. Good nano swarm there to keep him blockaded as the push is on.
And it is. Back onto the Odin yet again, which they are going to be very well aware of. Spraying away. Sadok looking to match him, though. As mentioned. Tekos manages to find one. Sadok following up for a second kill as Cruz will fall. Oh, Fox, it looks so good for just a moment. Pushes the corner. Had the lineup, but only manages to find one kill. Quite a bit of damage going to be pushed out, however, onto the enemy Killjoy, who has since used the lockdown. No way to clear this out. Fox eliminated, and no Hunter's Fury still. Sentry set up here in mid, but Sushi Boys turns his back. They get the kill. Pressing forward. Scary will find Saucy as he look to advance up. Certainly could be a winnable situation as from the shadows there from Sutekas will push himself into the back of sight. Sadok is ready in alley. Gets 3 with the Odin here in the round to tie us up 6-6 in the first half.
Man, what a first half between these two teams. Great back and forths, great counter reads on each other, great adjustments being made. I mean, every round is different. Every time they're trying something different. This time, again, just, you know, pushing through mid very effectively for the Vikings. And they just swarm through into the.
But now,
that was a really effective round for them. Wow.
But now we have X10 on attack. We saw how good this was from them, almost running it back on Icebox. They're starting here with, you know, one round better than we saw from them on that last map. Let's see what they get done. Pistol round to start this map off was absolutely insane. So I'm anticipating a bit of a similar setup here as Recon bolts go passing past each other like ships in the night, and instantly 2 kills come through. Potty only able to respond with 1, now follows up for a second. Hot hands into the corner, they know exactly where he is at, and it's going to be a very swift cleanup there. No time passing whatsoever in that round. Vikings, they strike quickly, they strike cleanly. They have 3 left alive, and now they are in the lead 7-6.
I mean, this is literally a mirror almost of what happened in the last pistol round. The Vikings have 2 in short, 2 here at the door, and they're just ready for it. I mean, just it's a complete massacre. It's a great crossfire. Everybody from X10 just runs out into the fountain area, and there's nowhere for them to go. They're just dead at that point. I mean, it's just a great read by the Vikings.
GTN's going all in on this one. He's got the Phantom. So buying down to 0. Quite a bit of damage there on a Fox Shock Dart. Oh my god, it takes him down to 3 HP. Obviously can receive heals from Putty. Cruz does not have his available. So we'll have to rely on the Sage to try to back him up. But Putty is all the way over here in mid at the moment, so won't be able to help him out for quite some time. Corner check coming in. Just throwing out a right click, trying to get that hit, but Pegas is just holding things down. 3 kills for him so far. Push forward to the back of the blinds. There's the clean. Another flawless round presented by Prime Gaming here for the side of the Vikings. They're second on the map.
Both of our anti-eco rounds are flawlesses. This time it's going to be Vikings coming out, winning the pistol, winning the follow-up. Sutekas again doing a wonderful job here. Bodypon a little bit late there on the follow-up. Sutekas getting some good dinks with the Spectre. Very, very well done. Now, rifles in hand for X10. What's going to be the setup? 3 angling towards mid, 2 up at mid top.
Spandals across the board. Recon bolt. Trying to spot them over here at the lobby. Wall does come up. They'll break through one, but Body still using the boost. Manages to find a kill. The follow-ups are going to be there. And do we just see a return fire flawless round? Saucy has to back off. He's the last remaining member. Can he do anything to put a dent here in X10? So right now, it looks like they are going to be coming within touching distance of Vikings. So they look to move up 7-8. Currently lurking out, pushes through the Astra smoke into the Nebula. That's going to expire now.
Planted.
Does he know that Sushi Boys has made his way into market? The answer is not quite. It's caught off guard, and there we go. The best way to reply to a flawless round is with one of your own. X10 keeping things so very tight-knit.
Prime Gaming once again getting their money's worth on Ascent.
Yeah.
This is just incredible. I mean, look at Patipon, and they're just ready for this push. It's so aggressive by the Vikings, coming from two different angles, from B main and right into the dead center of mid. And Patipon getting up there is able to cover so much ground. He's just a turret up on top of that wall, able to see everything that's going on. And you can see, I don't think Vikings are too bothered. I think they were trying something a little cheeky there. Still some money here. Only the Bulldog for Saucy, but everybody else able to get the guns. GTN only on half armor after, like you accurately pointed out earlier, he did full buy on that Phantom, and that's causing him to be a little bit short here in this round.
FRZ currently waiting over there at A with the hot hands in case he hears somebody going for the ult orb tank. No one playing on that side of the map. Closest is going to be Sushi Boys. He's lurking up the top mid at the moment. Won't be able to spot too much. Drone's going to be moving out. Fox trying to get some vision here around Pizza and Market. Drone does expire there right at the end. See what the play is going to be. Recon up over towards Pizza. Won't find too much of anything here. So they start inching forward. Hawk moving up. Does get the blind to connect. Doesn't really tell them exactly where this Killjoy is going to be at. Another Hawk flying through. Slow orb in the corner just in case somebody's still playing in Market. They will be able to clear that angle, but it's good dark cover coming in from Sutikas to go ahead and cut off that vision. This causes the reroute now over towards the A site. Nade coming in, a great peek from FRZ, manages to find Cruz. Fox going to be eliminated as well. Recon bolt chucked in, manages to spot one, tucking into the corner. Push comes in, Putty does outtrade Saucy.
10 seconds left.
Getting that kill, trying to keep their hopes alive here in the round, but GTN takes out another one, follows up for a second. Sushi Boys falls, Scary tries to make it happen, but will get killed off in the end. 2-round lead here yet again for Vikings. It just feels like every single time they pick up one, X10 responds in kind, they go blow for blow.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a great job here by FRZ. I mean, look at the Saucy there. We don't get to see it, but the way he responds off that Astra smoke from Scary is fantastic. Recon dart out right away, gets the confirmation that there's more in there, and then the crossfires are just insanely brutal. But I gotta say, one thing that just kind of struck me here, Achilleos, is that there hasn't been a lot of attention played to the alt orbs. They just kind of left there. And especially with the Phoenix, I thought there'd be more aggression, particularly for FRZ. Ooh.
Not too bad there for Sadak. Trying to catch him through the wall. Can't quite make that happen. Hottie thinking about boosting on top of the ult orb box. Try to get view through that tiny little window and try to pick off somebody here at the B site. Not quite going to happen. They might not know it, but we can tell from the silhouettes. These guys are standing shoulder to shoulder right now. Cruz and Sadak just waiting. As Saucy, he's ready for that potential boost. You can see him staring at that window.
Yeah, now they're going to know someone's in there for sure. That Recon dart getting shot down.
Oh.
Dark cover comes in. Sadak not going to be able to win that one. Cruz is going to get him immediately healed up there. Shock dart's coming in now from Saucy.
Yeah, but he throws it right into the middle, not into the corner, so will not be able to get the hit there onto Cruz. Doesn't find any follow-up damage. See the heal just waiting. Potty now thinking about going for the boost yet again. Seekers to lead for them. Gets himself boosted up top. Does manage. Spot out. Who pushes back out, gets the headshot. Will become blinded, however. Great Hawk there from Cruz. Goes ahead, nullifies the Omen, gets the headshot to finish him off. Another spike can be planted. X10 looking to yet again keep themselves just one round down right behind the Vikings. To continue to nip at their heels. Drone forward from Saucy. looking to spot them. We'll see one in the back of Boathouse. Start up at the top, curveball coming through, not going to be able to get the blind onto anybody. Fox goes for the peek as the instant headshot there onto FRC. Knows that GTN is in the cubby, but cannot outtrade him. The Vikings Raise does manage to capitalize on that moment, but now they're at a disadvantage. They even it up, they get the advantage now. It's going to be Sushi Boy by himself, and the showstopper will knock him out of the park. A huge play from GTN and Saucy to go ahead and close out this round. They do not let X10 nip at their heels any further. They take the lead forward here into their favor yet again. Now 3 rounds up, 3 more to go to close out Ascent and close out this series.
Oh my God, what a play here again. Saucy coming up big, getting the double, transfers right over so well into Scary, and then the finish there, my goodness. But I thought this round was done when Fox came through B main, got the pick, because all 3 members of Vikings came through market. And I just thought, well, if Fox can just hold it down, maybe get one on the way, that should be pretty much all she wrote. But just a huge play again by Saucy in this game. He has been absolutely phenomenal here on Ascent.
Yeah, incredible there from Saucy. Now X10 taking another tactical timeout to try to stabilize. They need to run this back into their favor. You could see, I mean, buying down. They're getting these weapons in, but they're going to be lacking utility. We do not have the Trailblazer here for Cruz at the moment. I mean, only 2,900 for Sushi Boys, so he is going to be absolutely strapped, likely going to have to rely on, something like a Spectre with his armor, just so he can afford to get the nanoswarms and that alarm bot in. This is such a precarious spot to be in for X10. They don't want to have to try to win straight into another overtime. If they can string things together, if they can just try to offset this economy from Vikings, and they have a very real chance of taking this map. There's not that much money there for Vikings. 2 rounds in a row for X10 will put them in such a great spot.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a really good opportunity for X10. I think maybe talking over exactly how they want to use this Cosmic Divide and Lockdown, really try to take advantage of the alt situation they're sitting on, make sure they're able to get a good plant, get their good post plant set up, good crossfires. Potipon has the res. Normally, he's going to be the guy that is up front and aggressive, but you need to keep him alive in this round. Hopefully they're trying to keep him a little bit more reeled in. I know that's kind of difficult to take a player who's so good at being aggressive back, but that res, it's such a powerful ability. If you lose it early, it really just changes the tempo of the round.
It can be powerful, but I'm starting to, wonder, would I prefer to just see Potty come back in on the jet rather than run this, this duelist-less comp?
Yes.
And if Potty on the jet is going to be able to, trade 2 people every single round on average, then yeah, you probably would rather have that rather than bringing one person back every, 4 rounds or so. We'll see what they get done. Like you said, ult-wise, they are looking good. It will be the lockdown. They're trying to make this a bait over towards the A site. But they're not really biting on this yet. Hunter's Fury, not used at all to try to shut this down. Saucy just pushing forward. Now they find Potty, and everything is coming undone for the side of X10 here. Saucy pulling back. The hot hands coming through. Confirms that they're right around the corner. The reinforcements have arrived, though. The cavalry is here. They push out. They manage to find some takeouts. And just like that, it was looking like a phenomenal start here for the side of the Vikings, shutting down Potty, making sure that that res was not going to be available in the round. But they quickly reply with 3 kills of their own. Sadok set up here in mid is going to be looking to catch somebody on the cross. The shots come flying through, but they do not connect. Now 4 members strong, pushing into the B site. The Nanoswarm not going to dissuade them whatsoever. Turret set up. Nebula there to deny the vision. The gravity well is, I think, additionally, layered in. Or no, it's the nanoswarm, rather. Similar particle effects, but Sadok getting tagged up as he gets spotted out, has to pull back into market. Reaggresses yet again, but with 26 HP. They just make very quick work with him. GTN, the last one standing with 40 health and a Vandal, wants to pull back, needs to hold on to this gun.
Well, who needs ults when you can just mow them all down trying to flank you on the top mid? 3 down for the Vikings, a bit of an overcommitment onto that flank. I love the idea, I love the strat, but the idea, but putting 3 there is too much. 2, probably fine, but you don't really have any crossfires available in that spot, and X10 just responds to it beautifully, and they're picking up some guns, some confidence, some economy here. I mean, the economy wasn't great for Vikings either.
You'll have heard Scary running around. Timer is going to run out, so yeah, won't even get to get clearance of that corner. So we'll never know who would have won that duel. But X10 trying to keep this going here in their favor. We'll get a replay, another look at what happened here at top mid, and it just became a slaughter. Like you said, they stacked way too many people here. It was a great read at the very start of this. They did not take the bait whatsoever on the lockdown.
And I mean, if you have, somebody pushing out of A main, that move is fine, but you don't have anybody there at that point because of that lockdown.
Yeah. Well, unlucky, as they say. Sadok taking a ton of damage. Down to 26 HP. Putty looking to get aggro. Wants to push up. Saucy finding Sushi Boys is a good boon for them. Sadok gets right in underneath the box. Goes ahead, snatches up that Phantom, and he is doing so much work. 26 HP, be damned. This guy comes up with 2 kills.
What a push by him, using that dark cover against, or for his own self. It's a Sutekas' dark cover, of course. Just so good to get up and underneath. Cruz gonna take Sutekas down. Sadok got the read that they're behind the wall, and it's gonna be the Hunter's Fury that takes down Cruz.
And this is such a tragic turnaround here for X10. Slipping through their fingers this round. Sadok getting away with murder, somehow not getting punished, catching Fox off guard there at top mid, just sitting beneath him as he tries to recover the gun. And he puts it to work. 2 kills for him, and this would be just such an incredible thrifty here for the Vikings. And, in a 1v4, inching forward, you have to expect Scary. Yeah, he'll be able to get this plant, but can he actually stave off 4 members of the Vikings when 2 of them have rifles?
It's going to be, if he can do it, maybe the play of the tournament so far. He can find this.
Where does he want to get set up? Obviously, he does have the Cosmic Divide, but do you want to use that just when you're all on your lonesome? I think probably not. Then again, every time he goes into that astral form, start thinking maybe he's going to. Has to reposition, looks for the catch, but Saucy is quicker on the draw, gets the headshot. And Vikings, they will defuse this. They will move up 11-8.
I mean, this is just all Sadok. He's had a couple big ones and a lot of help from Sutekas. I shouldn't say it's all Sadok. That dark cover really offered him a lot of opportunity to get up there. The thrifty does come through, and Vikings 2 away here from taking the map and the match. You can see Sushi Boys, good headshot there from Saucy, but he gets right underneath. He really wants that gun too that's in that corner. Kind of not really realizing the situation there.
Yep.
Is the Sova, and he just gets taken down.
Just great communication there from Vikings, just completely identifying where the enemies are at so that Hunter's Fury can get the kill onto Cruz. So relaying that info. And now X10, I mean, they need to stop this. 1 more round, Vikings will have locked in their guaranteed overtime if X10 can continue the run. Otherwise, they will put themselves at match point. They need to stop the bleeding right here, right now. It's going to be a double stack over here at bench. Picos taking a couple of shots, reveals his position. Putty takes his head off. Hot Hand's going to be thrown down into the corner, trying to force a position here from Cruz. Will get finished off by Sadok. They still have to worry about GTN, who's pushing up there over by Boiler.
Spike stuck.
Yeah, trying to recover this is going to prove to be very difficult. The drone going out, spots that run it back moving forward. Oh my god, so much value off the back of the dart as well. He pushes up, gets the headshot in on a Fox. Sadok taking down Scary. The red's gonna be burned, but here comes GTN. Makes his way up onto short, takes out Sushi Boys. Now it's Putty and Fox versus the world. They will manage to find one. Fox finds another, but then gets struck down. 2 members left standing for the side of the Vikings. Saucy and Sadok get it done. Now it's match point for the Vikings for this series. X10 need 4 straight rounds in a row if they want to force out overtime. They got close last time on Icebox, but this is looking so much more dire.
I mean, once this spike is stuck out in the open, it's just so difficult for X10 to even get to it. They're just mowed down piece by piece. Great timing on these moves to finish off Fox and Patipon at the end. They're pushing together. The timing is really nice from the Vikings, but they try to force the issue. Does X10? They get the opening pick onto Sutekas. After that, they're just not able to do much. And again, the spike's down. What are you going to do?
Yeah, and now look at the economy here for the side of X10. I mean, it's going to be Spectres across the board. Several players are going to be missing their utility. We do not have the drone for Fox. We do not have the slow orbs here for Potty, so they just need to try to just straight up out-aim and out-rotate the members of the Vikings. Finding any straight pick would do wonders for them, but I don't know. This is looking like we should be ready to put a fork in it. Trailblazer to lead over into B main. Checks the corners, doesn't spot anything, just sees the turret. They will eliminate. The rotation is already starting from the side of the Vikings. They say, no, this is not going to be any kind of bait. They're not going to look to play this over at A. So they send for the 3-stack. Aspectified coming up just to try to get them escorted over towards the site. Sadak, however, playing around this wall, has a potential opportunity to go for a big peek. Fox pulling back. Has the Hunter's Fury, wants to shut down this lockdown. Second shot will destroy it. But we do see Sushi Boys take it out. Sadak starting to press forward. Blind going through. Cruz comes pushing up, manages to find one. 4v2. X10 not done yet. They are still here to play.
Wow, this is a huge moment for X10, trying to lock it down. Paint Shells comes in the back, push to Scary over. FRZ trying to do something. Two duelists trying to finish this round out. Fox still around the corner there in main, trying to hold on, wait for them to come out, pushes forward, grabs a gun, almost loses his life for it, but some whip shots back and back. Not really gonna do much.
Well, FRZ, he punishes him again. They definitely make that a little bit bloodier than it looked like it had to have been for the side of X10, but they do manage to retain 2 of those weapons. They keep themselves alive at least for a little bit longer. 3 more rounds to go for them to try to take us into our first overtime of the tournament. And let's just take a look at this entry. Great catch on the gravity well. Coming out there from Scary. This allows for them to get the kill, but FRZ on this push, just boom. Ooh. Manages to find 2 on the back end of that. I mean, 4 rifles retained for X10. You're really worried if you're Vikings. But now, given that they have the lead, given that the economy is still not going to be super great for X10, they have a little bit more wiggle room than they otherwise would have.
Yeah, I mean, you at least forced them into a couple half shields, so that's a win in of itself. Great job by FRZ with that curveball around the corner, pushing out for the Altor, but not able to grab it. Too much pressure there. No smokes or cover available to go for it. No picks found. So going to have to back off for now are the Vikings. And everybody just kind of setting back up, defaulting a bit, waiting this one out.
Still, yeah, far away from ultimates. Pretty much across the board. The From the Shadows is there for Sutekas. Lockdown almost online for Sushi Boys. If he can grab this orb, that would be a huge way to try to open up this site for themselves. Drone clears out Wine, doesn't spot anything. Potty, however, knocked down to 35. Uses the heal on himself. That's the orb recovered. That's going to be the lockdown used. They can tuck away in heaven, in hell. Try to buy some time. Nade coming out. They're waiting for this to tick down a little bit more before they start going in on the push. Now making their way out onto the side. Gravity well, pulling one. That's the headshot that they needed. GT, and now going to be knocked down. The Rays out of the fight. There's a lot of firepower gone. Cruz lines up Sasi as he tries to push in through tree. The door going to be shut, going to be broken open rather quickly. Cruz gets himself into the corner quickly, tucked away, trying to stay alive, playing this hard angle, gets the blind, goes in on the push, puts quite a bit of damage in onto FRZ, but cannot get the kill, and he still has utility to top himself back up. It's gonna be the Blaze Wall and the Hot Hands. He'll come back into this fight, 100 HP, 2v2, both members gonna be topped up. There is the run it back. Potty managed to find Sadak, and now it's all on FRZ to try to close this out, to try to win the map, win the series for Brazil. Goes pushing forward, but the ult will snap him back over towards tree. Has to reaggress through the doorway, and the spike continues to tick away. He has an idea of where they're playing at, but Potty gets the great peak timing, finds 3 on the round, and X10 keep it going.
Man, what an entry here for X10. He's doing a great job with their setup. The gravity well into the nano swarm at the top, some shots up there as well. Really open up a ton of space for them. They're setting up great crossfires. They leave one in main. They leave some behind to make sure there are no lurks. It's just really well executed, like you mentioned. Getting that alt orb early, getting that lockdown set up, buying the time to really think it out, really plan it out, executing very, very well. FRZ doing his damnedest to try to come through here and give the win to Vikings, but they're just 2 rounds away, our X10, from bringing this to an overtime.
Yeah, and OT, and with that comes the prospect of a potential third map. It will be a 2-for-1 trade out there. Saucy manages to find Fox, but the turret from Sushi Boys gets the finishing blow to go ahead, trade up, and keep the advantage here for X10.
You can see FRZ might be thinking about trying to grab that Bulldog there. That was downed in A main.
I mean, anything that he could recover other than just having the Sheriff would still be quite good for him. Shots flying through. Side of Vikings here with this defensive setup. One in market, one in the back alley. Nano Swarm's thrown down. One going to be used defensively. Sonic tries to get himself over towards the switch, but will get shot out of the air. And this is looking like X10 are going to be within touching distance of taking us to that OT. 4 members strong versus 2. No ults to speak of here for the side of Vikings other than that from the shadows, which isn't going to net them too much. They know exactly where everybody from the side of X10 is going to be playing here.
Well, we've already seen it once from the Vikings in these odd man situations on the retakes on B where they got it done. Let's see if they can do it again. 2 coming from Alley. Not a lot they can really do. Curveball, hot hands. That's about all you got for utility.
Taking some guns out of the hands of X10 would still be, nice for them, but even then, X10, they have the momentum here on their side. Good shot comes through. So he managed to follow up for 2. Cruz and Potty both going to be eliminated. The Nebula coming up. They're trying to make their way into B main. Scary does manage to find the shot. He follows up for the second one. 12-11. 1 more to go. X10 are looking to take us into overtime.
Still, again, to scrape a couple guns out of the hands of X10 is pretty important there, but at the end of the day, I guess we're going to find out.
Everybody's all in on this round.
Yeah, that's true. Everybody's all in. Never mind. I guess it's not that important. But you get a couple kills. That's something to be thankful for, I suppose. Here we go.
See, try not to be too bothered by it, by the position that they're in. Sadak moving over to the Odin. Full buys ready to go. As close as they can get. Killjoy utility set up here for Sadak at the B site. Just waiting to spray through. No one is playing anywhere close to B lobby right now. Or into B main, rather, on the side of X10. They're playing very far back.
Don't want to make any mistakes, that's for sure.
Yep.
Guiding light, just to check into mid. Nothing gonna be found off of that one. Astra, let's see what she wants to do. Putting a star down over in Pizza.
Just cutting
Waiting,
off that
out gonna dismiss. Yeah, dismissed a couple other stars in the process.
Now starting to really clump together in mid. It's been the location of many a showdown so far here in this map. But Vikings, they have to play respectfully. They have to play back. They do not want to risk getting it picked off. Wall comes up to cut off that defender's access over towards Market, and the door will get broken down. Odin Spray coming in, looking for some hits. Potty taking quite a bit of damage. Will be able to top himself back up. As FRZ plays around the corner. He gets taken out. Fox finds him. That's going to be GTN now eliminated. Just like that. 5v3. X10, can they make it happen? Hunter's Fury to try and delay. Will stop the spike from getting planted. They need to buy some more time. They're starting to plant now. Still with 8 seconds left on the clock. They have it, but can they hold it? The 4v3 with OT on the line. Sentry goes up. Sonic gets spotted. They get him through the wall. Out from hell. Like us. Responding in kind, manages to find one, but it's still going to be a one-man advantage now to the side of X10. They drop down. Scary gets the headshot. He's looking for the last one, and Patty is there on the flank. He shuts him down, and here we go. 12-12. We're heading into overtime to settle this map.
It's overtime, baby. What a lurk by Potty Pond. He goes all the way through Pizza into defender spawn and then comes up the ramp to get that final one. That was a little bit risky, but this by FRZ. Good job by Fox to check that corner off the back of that guiding light. He knows that his opponent, if he's going to be there, is turned. Good follow-up with the Hunter's Fury, finds one, but Scary doing a fantastic job working on the bomb site, buying a lot of time, getting Potty Pond there. Oh my word. They are fired up.
Yep, you can hear the pop off there. It's a little bit quieter on the other side. Understandably, they wanted to close this out pretty cleanly. Or as clean as it can get, given how down and dirty this series has been so far. They will have to fight through overtime, tooth and nail now. 5K to either side. No one going to be going for the glass cannon. It's just way too risky. So we'll just be rifles, armory, and utility across the board here. As Vikings are the first on the attack.
Yeah, with Patipon not on that jet, and I haven't seen the operator come out from him. Now he's trying to watch the angle there. Oh, just able to get back.
Thought about going for the wall. Thinks better of it. Wants to hold on to that in case it comes in handy later on. But did get sights on 2 members who have now since rotated out, making their way through the attacker spawn over towards Gelato and top mid. Spike's still going to be dropped here for the moment. So they weigh their options. Seems like a hit onto A main is going to be the decision made by the Vikings. All of this Killjoy utility is stacked up over a tree. It's not going to find too much value at all here. Shock darts coming through the drone as well to look to scout. Dark cover, cutting off that vision of the door. Nade comes flying. Scary just going to be spraying away, looking to get some kills, get any kind of hits in that he possibly can. Doesn't find too much. Nanoswarm will take a little bit of HP off of FRZ, but for the moment he is going to be okay. GTN, however, knocked down to 29. It's going to be a much scarier position for him to be in here. Next 10, can they pull off this retake? Still 5v5, Pouty, the first one to fall. The spray comes through, 2 more members join him in the grave. Cruz and Fox both eliminated now, all on Scary and Sushi Boys to try to drag back this first round here in overtime. FRZ going to be eliminated. Scary is gone. There is the cleanup. Vikings, they play it slow, but they make it look easy in the end of that first round. Now 13-12, 1 more to go.
The Vikings are so good on retakes. They're so good on callouts. You can see this flash from FRZ hits 3 members of X10, and they just mow them down. Look at that. Everybody's tunneled in on it. Sutekos holding the line. Fantastic work by them. I just love their communication, their ability to react to each other, to play off each other. So well done by the Vikings.
Yep, smiles abound. They're feeling good after that round. See if we can keep this OT going a little bit deeper, tumble down the rabbit hole, or if Vikings can close it out 14-12. Like a similar idea here, a little bit faster on the jump to move their way over to A. 2-member stack over towards tree. Nobody otherwise on the site. We'll see that that is going to change now as GTN rotates his way over to heaven.
Yeah, there's one nano swarm here for Sadak.
Blind hits, drone gonna be coming out. It's close. They don't try to push. I thought maybe they would go in on the back of the drone, try to get their way through the nebula, but they're worried about reinforcements. They play this one out a little bit more patiently. Trailblazer to check before they shut that door. It's already been destroyed, actually. Now they have to play that angle, make sure that nobody can press through. Still going to be 5v5, no one really taking any significant damage either. As I say that, FRC goes in for the huge entry, shuts down Fox. Cruz going to fall. It's going to be a 3-for-1, now 4. It all comes down to Potty, and he is gone. They have done it in overtime, 2 straight rounds, 14-12. Vikings will take a set, and they will take this series.
Oh, be still my heart.
Defenders
What
win.
a match. What a game, what a map. My word, X10 giving it, coming back when they were down to win, what was that, 3 in a row? To bring it to overtime?
I mean,
my
yeah.
word. Oh, okay, I gotta talk about that last round there, the retake. The difference between what the Vikings do and X10 does. X10 there, just kind of blindly rushing in. They get caught by a flash, get shut down. The Vikings there, smoke off main and come in from the crossfires at perfect time, use their utility well to open the door for themselves. But the big part of that is they smoke off Patipon at main. He has to use a wall to try to get up, but at that point it's too late. Everybody on the side is already dead. You can see the hot hands lands right on top of Sushi's. And then they just start swarming through one at a time. They're checking their angles, hitting their shots. Let's go, baby.
It's very, very nicely done here by the Vikings in the end, but maybe not as clean as several people had anticipated for a squad that has been touted as a potential top 3 finisher here at Reykjavík. But one thing is certain, X10 have exceeded our expectations. A lot of people have them in the bottom 2, but they put on one hell of a show here. They gave us our first overtime of the tournament so far. Granted, it's only day 2. I'm sure we're going to have plenty more throughout the duration of this. but they did put up one hell of a fight. They put on one hell of a show. Padipan as well, making himself very well known now to a Western audience, to a global audience for that matter. But yeah, this is a team, you know, like Crazy Raccoon, that you cannot underestimate. You cannot come into a series against these squads and say, oh yeah, we should have them. Like, Thailand's not a big region, Japan's not a big region, and so on and so forth. We should be able to take this easily. When you have that complacency, that's when you can get caught off guard. That's when they can, you know, surprise you. Suddenly, you're in an overtime. You're playing for your lives to stay in that upper bracket. Vikings do get it done, though. Good perseverance from them through, you know, the technical delays, through these crazy run-back round streaks that we saw from the side of X10. But they are the victors at the end of this. They keep their heads above the water.
I think what I really love to see is that we have some of these like smaller regions that are doing really well. And it just goes to show like the support from Riot with the VCT across many different regions, how much there is to play for, you know, how well structured these tournaments are, the foundation these teams have to build themselves from, you know, even going back to last year with a lot of different regions, having their own leagues being sprouted up across the globe. And now you're seeing the results of that these major titans are being challenged. And it's wonderful to see. I had such a blast with this match.
Yeah, absolutely. It was one hell of a one to get. I mean, I wasn't sure what to expect when we first got the schedule. I was like, oh, X10 versus Vikings, that might be a little one-sided. I'm glad that I was very incorrect in my initial breakdown of the series, because they put up one hell of a fight. Unfortunately for X10, this also means that they do suffer a second loss now on Ascent ever. So that is going to put the record at 19-2 and 15-2 here in 2021. But still a wonderful performance from them. And you know, a lot of people are going to have to start rethinking those lower brackets and trying to assess just how deep X10 is going to be able to go in this tournament, because they show that they have the talent, they have the fragability to pull it off. But guys, that's going to do it for us here on the cast. We're going to have the analysts break down that game in just a minute, so don't go anywhere.
Welcome back, everyone, as we discuss Vikings facing off against X10. Vikings come out on top there. I'm Golden Boy, your host, joined once again by our analysts. We got Potter, Doug, and Tom Biz. Also joining us once again, the smoke. It has returned. So you thought you were going to get away from it. You thought I was going to get away from it. Nope, not today. But that said, though, this has been a very interesting matchup. And as a matter of fact, let's take a look at the whole series, courtesy of our friends over at Prime Gaming, with the Prime Gaming map highlights. And Tom, I think it's safe to say X10 gave us a lot to talk about in this series.
Yeah, for sure. I think that now looking at this roster, a lot of teams, especially going into that lower bracket with Crazy Raccoon, they're going to be sat there going, okay, maybe we have to start diving into those demos a little bit more, looking at some of the more niche plays that they're making, because, again, we're seeing a lot of cool little ideas coming out from them. I think you have to talk about Padipan again, like the different ice walls, the level of aggression that they were fighting into mid, and how this basically turned into what was a super aggressive brawl for mid for the majority of the match. It was definitely one hell of a display to be shown, but at the same time, if you're going to fight the Brazilians when it comes to aggressive mid plays, they're going to give it back and maybe even slightly more.
Yeah, they definitely hit that Brazilian jiu-jitsu in mid, Doug.
They did indeed. And honestly, I think one of the things that I really loved about how VK has played that was they knew that's what they wanted to do from the beginning. And you even think back to the beginning of the second half where they first dialed up that aggression across the middle, and X10 handled it great, right? Like they handled it perfectly. They walled off the aggression coming in from middle towards tiles, and they were able to weather that storm. But even with that happening, Vikings never changed their plan, right? Like it was either going to be the middle of the map or it was going to be through a lobby. They even pushed in through garage, through to B a couple of times, but their plan was that, right?
Yeah.
They knew what they wanted to do. They were going to try to punch you in the face repeatedly, and they never deviated from that.
Well, you know, a good response to getting punched in the face is putting up a wall. And it was actually kind of surprising that, you know, Padipan went over to Sage. We got a few really wild plays out of him, Tom, for sure, because and it was something that we just didn't expect, especially after considering the bombastic performance that he had on Jet, which is his, you know, kind of trademark agent on Icebox.
Yeah, I think the coolest thing as well is like the first one, paper thin highlights. It's like, oh yeah, he's using his wall. He's got this retake. He's blocked it off. And then for the next 6 rounds, he just like boosted himself over mid, jumped over and was just doing parkour. It's like he started off with like, look, I'm going to use this as a clever retake strategy, and turned it into, I'm going to be the most aggressive player on the server, even though I'm playing Sage and I'm meant to be sort of using my res to bring people back. It was a cool dynamic for him. And yeah, he's someone to watch for the future, no doubt, even just going further forward into this tournament.
But, you know, credit is due to Vikings, Potter, for how they were able to handle those types of plays, those change-ups that we were seeing from X10 on Ascend. And I know that there was one round in particular that you wanted to break down, because Vikings clearly did their homework, were prepared, and played really well as a result.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And this is the last round of this first half, and you're going to see the Odin purchases. Take a look at Sadhack's back and also Fox's, the Sova on the other side. We know how strong the Sova metagame is with the Odin in the hands. So you see the KJ ult coming through for the B site. But the one thing is, Vikings, they know that the stack will happen towards the B site. They know X10 are going to want to try to break this KJ ult. So that's why you see the Odin on Sadhack's back. And also Vikings, this was a fast mid play off the back of that. So the reads were coming through for both squads. The reads were there, but just a small spiciness towards the end there for Vikings to just turn that aggression around and bust through those doors and market and make it to the B side. It really caught Fox's off guard as he was starting to try to drone and start his spam shenanigans.
Yeah, shenanigans indeed, but Vikings were having none of it, and I respect that. And they're going to be moving on in this competition. As previously noted, though, that is not going to be the end of the road for X10, as they'll be taking a trip to the lower bracket, where they'll be facing off against Crazy Raccoon, which is surely going to be an awesome matchup to check out. But now, let's actually hand it over to my main man, Dash, all the way in Reykjavík, Iceland, for our Verizon post-match interview with Saucy.
Boy, I'm standing by with Sasi after a tight 2-map victory over X10. Sasi, we're going to talk about the matchup in just a moment itself, but I do want to get a sense from you as for many viewers around the world, first time getting a look at each of these teams. What was your expectation both for yourself and Vikings coming into this tournament?
I'll be honest, I thought it was easier. It got really tough on the icebox. They got a really good composition against us. They got a really different composition, like based on Brazil. Like Brazil plays style is really aggressive, and they have a slow game, as most European teams have, to be honest. So it's really hard for us, but we managed to get a win, so it's fine.
All right, well, actually, I'm going to jump right into a meta question then, since you brought it up, because there's been a lot of conversation. Every region does have a different approach, and analysts have been trying to predict which region's meta is going to be the one to kind of dominate, and whether or not teams will start to adapt to that. Do you think it's going to be best for teams to stick to what they did in their own region, or try and slowly morph into what is considered the best?
Yeah, okay, that's a good question, because the first 3 days we got stumped for everyone.
Yeah.
Because we didn't get used to the slow game. So we were thinking, okay, do we go to this meta, like playing with Sage? Because Brazil, we don't usually play Sage. And then after like 4 days getting stumped, we said, okay, just go Brazil style. We don't have time for it. So we have the mentality that we will keep playing like Brazilian and see if it works. If it doesn't, we'll come back stronger.
Stick with what you know, and it worked this time around. But you mentioned the Sage pickup, and actually I want to talk about Map 2 Ascent, because Paddy Penn has never played Sage on that map before. He's most notably a Jet player, and yet they pulled it out. So when you saw that coming out of Agent Select, how did that change your plan and your approach to that map 2?
I mean, he is the best player from X10. I was like, okay, that's good for us, maybe. Like, I don't know. Like, he's not going to play an operator, right? So we thought that was fine. Like, we did get a first half. That was okay. It was 6-6, I think. But then when we got to defend, we still managed to get a lot of rounds on them. But then they started to play really slow, and we got into their play style. That was the thing that got to the overtime.
Yeah, first overtime of the tournament as well. So definitely made it exciting, but you guys were able to eke it out. I was actually really impressed. This is more a comment than a question. His Sage wall over mid, you guys dealt with that immediate pressure so well, but it was that kind of creativity that I was wondering. Oh, it was wild, man. That was wild. Last question to you is that you pick up this first win in the upper bracket. You move on to play the winner of Sentinels versus Fnatic. That is a titanic matchup that we'll see later today. Who do you think you're going to end up facing next?
I mean, based on the screams that we have playing, I think he used a little better right now, to be honest. Sorry, NFA, sorry.
That's me.
But, oh, sorry, sorry. It's a little bit, but like if Sentinels has like the capacity of like adapting to their playstyle, I think they win because of his aim is insane. Like Tens, Dapper, like Shazam, they were all good players. So I think if they win, it's all about the aim, dude.
Well, I look forward to it after seeing the kind of style that you guys threw up on the maps today. If and when you play either of those two teams, it's going to be a good one. Congratulations on the 2-0 victory today. From here, we're heading to a break, and then we get our first NA versus EU clash. It's TL versus version 1. Thank you so much.
It is the moment we've all been waiting for. North America facing off against Europe for the first time on LAN in competitive Valorant's short history. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Golden Boy, your host, joined by my colleagues here. We got Potter, Doug, and Tom Biz. And let's not waste any time and jump into the discussion regarding one of the EU's finest teams coming out of that region, Team Liquid. And, you know, Tom, of course, I'm going to go to Tom because he's our EU expert here. This lineup has had a bit of a shaky start, but they've made some adjustments, some changes that has led to some success for this storied roster.
I'll be brutally honest with you. If you'd asked me at the very beginning of like this second VCT, if I thought that one of the Masters teams would be Team Liquid, I would have said no.
Totally agree.
The adaptations that this roster has made going into EMEA have been incredible. We've seen changes of roles. We've seen no duelist setups, and we've seen the move to a position where Yampi is now a central point of a team that used to be Screaming team. That's what we were just looking at Screaming going, hey, how many headshots can he get this game? Can he drag them over the line? Well, the fact is, Yampi has now moved to this sort of killjoy that almost self-suffices him. Like, he can put this turret down to give him information. He can get aggressive and make those picks, and it frees up players like Scream. We've seen much better performances out of Link and Cryptix as well, but we do now head into a LAN setting. And sure, we've got Scream with a mountain of experience, Yumpy with a bit as well, but I do want to see how the other players perform on their very first LAN day.
Yeah, and Tom, I think to piggyback off of that, yeah, we can talk about the players and how they're going to perform, which is obviously a key part of what's going on here. But it is criminal to downplay the impact that Sliggy has had on this team's run, especially in stage 2. Tom, I think you're absolutely right. I would have wholeheartedly agreed with you that going into this, is Liquid one of the two? Yeah, probably not. Right? They looked spotty, they looked inconsistent, they looked bumpy, and I think they have solved a lot. Sliggy's a huge factor in the improvements that they've made. But that said, I think there are still a lot of question marks going into this series. This is their first rep on LAN. V1 has already been here. Like, which Liquid is going to show up? Right? I think that's a huge question here.
That's actually a fantastic point that you bring up there. And I think it's important to note, Version 1 has had a chance to play on that stage against Crazy Raccoon yesterday. It was a bit of a barn burner, undoubtedly. But Potter, this is a team that is similar to Liquid, but even further back than that. If you asked us who are going to be the representatives for North America in a global competition like this, Version 1 was not in anyone's names. Like, not at all.
You're absolutely right, Golden Boy, and I think that's what makes your point from earlier so much more important, right? Is the fact that they did play yesterday. They did get those first game LAN jitters out of the way, and you know what made Version 1 so strong at the challengers in NA was that unpredictability factor, was kind of that underdog story factor. These guys, they play the numbers game really well, so if they catch a read or if they find a hole, they will absolutely exploit it. We've seen Vanity hiding and ratting his way into his own smokes, finding his way into the flanks and running it down full send with the frenzy. That is his style. That is the strength of Version 1, is the mid-round aggressions and capitalizing on whatever space that they make. So I'm hopeful to see that sort of Version 1 today, because yesterday they were a little bit slower coming out of the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you remove some of those jitters. That's a key part. But I think when I think about Version 1, there are two things that come to mind, right? The first one is the narrative going into this tournament for this team is the sub, right? How are they going to do with jammies without Whippy, and what's that going to look like? We got to remember, folks, they've been here before, right? Leading into stage 2 of Challengers, they did the same thing with Player 1 and Whippy joining the fold, and well, they're here, so they did something right. And I think the other thing that bodes well for Version 1 is their ability to quickly adapt to strongest metas, right? Think about the Bucky meta. Who exploited that in North America more than anyone else? Version 1. And then think about the pivot to Viper and Astra and how they became so powerful in the way the game is played right now. It wasn't just that they adopted it, but they were the ones who actually innovated, right? They pushed the envelope a little bit, and they brought different ways to think about the game with those two agents. So there's a whole lot that, like, yes, they did not look good yesterday against Crazy Raccoon, right? Let's not sugarcoat things at all. They didn't. They walked away with the win, but it was ugly. That said, I think there's a whole lot more that we're going to see from version 1 today. Is it going to be enough against Liquid? That's the question.
Very true. Well, for those of you guys at home, make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Valorant Esports for the latest news, highlights, memes, most importantly, the chance to participate in our daily predictions. And the fans, you guys are going to vote in favor of who you think is going to walk away with the victory. But now I'm going to ask my analysts who they think are going to win this one. Let's go first to Potter. Potter, your thoughts?
I got to go with Liquid here. I think that Scream-Yumpy duo is way too strong, but I'm going to say,
Tom's so happy.
Penny looked damn good yesterday. So I don't know. I'm still hopeful, but I got to go with Liquid.
Doug, what about you?
Yeah, Penny's a big win condition here, but if I'm honest, I believe in the Galaxy brain of Sliggy just a bit more. I'm also leaning Team Liquid. It'll be close. I think we go the distance, but Liquid walks away with the win.
Tom Biz, I know where you're going, Papi, pero tell me anyway.
Well, I've got my Liquid blue shirt on ready for today. It was an easy prediction. Obviously, I'm no traitor to my region, so it's EU all the way. Liquid, they got this. Not even worried.
I really very much appreciate you just sticking with your guns. It is going to be an incredible matchup, undoubtedly, as we wait for our match to begin here. The players are going to be making their way to the stage, and once they do, we'll be sure to throw it over to Reykjavík, Iceland, where the battle is about to begin. Since we have a little bit of time, Tom, I just wanted to continue to talk about this Yampy narrative that has been built up, though, because it's very clear the addition, as we mentioned, that this player has brought to the team. But you also have the help that Scream is going to be getting. But not to say that his teammates aren't out there helping him as well. But it's clear that this squad has ascended to another level.
Yeah, for sure. I think the operator play of Yumpy, it's always going to be something that can definitely take over a match, but it does give more space to someone like Scream to be a little bit more aggressive. And as I said, I think we've seen both Link, Cryptics, and Soulcast as well, moving over to that Sky, become much more integral parts of this team. Yeah,
well, folks, the time for talk is over. The moment we have all been waiting for. North America versus Europe. Version 1 takes on the juggernauts of Team Liquid. It's going to be a good one, and who better to guide you through the action than Pansy and Hypot? Take it away.
Ooh, okay, the desk has come to their senses. I can't believe it. I asked Potter earlier, I'm like, come on. You're going for Liquid, surely. No, I would never. Pulls it out when it really does matter. And well, look, this does lend to the narrative we attach to version 1. They come into this, yes, as NA's representatives, but an unlikely representative, someone who adapted to the metas, who pushed themselves further than many expected. And again, they struggled another setback. They had to bring in another stand-in, Whippy unable to make it, but still they pushed forward. They made it out of that first game. And now they face Liquid. And I don't think any of us can say on paper that Liquid aren't the favorites here. But version 1, they've proven before that they can go against the odds.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, actually, version 1 impressed me yesterday. I think a lot of the initial concerns, as Potter was talking about, we had around emergency sub situation were squashed. It got a little scary towards the end of both maps. Actually, but I think it's more of a positive for V1 that they were able to stabilize under pressure and close out the series 2-0 on top of that. I think Jammy's really stepped up to the plate in 2 pivotal roles on the maps we saw yesterday as Killjoy and Viper also.
No, I'm very much with you. Now, I think this will be quite telling as well, because then we can see how we actually rate Crazy Raccoons in that regard, because a lot of people were very impressed with how they looked. I think it's fair to say that, again, they were a very competitive team. The game did look pretty close in a couple of moments for version 1, but they did, of course, make it through in the end, kind of securing the key rounds that kind of created the space they needed. But again, we now need to shift attention to Liquid. Now, I think the big thing is, and something that is fair to say, if you've watched Europe, seeing Liquid rise recently has been impeccable. It's been great seeing it all come together, those crazed changes of bringing in Yampy at a time like they did. It was a risky move. It potentially cost them a ticket to some of the events to go for deeper runs. It was a very risky move at the time, but we all saw its necessity. And it finally paid off, Hypok.
Yeah, I think so. And one of the things I'm most excited to see today especially performance-wise. Yesterday from version 1, yep, Penny versus Yampi, Zelsys versus Scream. I think it leans heavily on version 1 if they want to take the match in that direction. And if Liquid want to try and, take that fight fire with fire, it'll be interesting to see how Liquid deal with that. Because I think if we look back at examples like BBL, there was a definite adjustment period where, a lot of people were saying, oh, that's starting to look a little bit like old Liquid, right? Things are great for a couple of weeks. And then, you've been there with me, Lauren, right? The highs and lows of Liquid, the lows were low. Really, that's going to be an interesting dynamic today with those key players that I'm looking towards.
And of course, as soon as the game is ready, as the players get themselves out on stage, we'll be jumping right to it. But we have to also talk about the potential map veto, the agent select. I'm glad the Desk brought it up, especially in the fact of, Doug talking about how integral Sliggy is to this team. I mean, the man is, the mad scientist, the kind of puppet master almost, very much a theory craft person and highly involved in the team. I'm just curious what they've come up with. Have they furthered themselves? Have they just purely tried to refine what they had coming into this?
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, for me, it's a similar discussion to yesterday, right? When we were talking about specific win conditions. I think, again, you could come back and just say, are Liquid able to... Also, the big benefit being version 1 played yesterday, right? All of those initial concerns, we talk about adjustment periods and getting here and getting that first live game out of the way under their belt. You can now flip back and say, actually, with the history the Liquid's had, that's a big concern.
Yeah, I think there are a couple of points. And look, yes, we are both EU casters. We predominantly watched EU. Yes, I casted a lot of NA at the start, but still, obviously we have a great deal of first-hand experience when it comes to Liquid. I think I do get a little interested by the map pool and then the mental wherewithal in this, because I think technically, if you look at it, yes, of course, you could talk about the region's expectations. NA is very vocal. Look, North American fans, they are loud. When they win, they support their team. They are, they will try and challenge anyone happily at it. But again, that's a lot of loud voices that could potentially be judging your ability here. And for version 1, that's going to be a lot of additional pressure potentially. Outside of that, they've come in as that plucky underdog, right? Like, technically, they haven't had to, deal with the huge amount of strain that maybe your Sentinels might, or your Fnatic might, or your Liquid might. They're maybe not as expected to be that tier 1 team. So I do look at Liquid and go, there is a world in which I see them looking a little shaky. Potentially, if things go astray.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And again, we talk about kind of the emotional journey that Liquid have been on. It always comes back to those kind of, I hate to use it, the choke moments, right? When absolutely everything's on the line and you're absolutely begging for them to dig deep and deliver, and it's not happened, unfortunately. There have been too many times where we've been kind of left wanting more of Liquid. So this is really telling in that regard.
Well, I've got word that because maybe the copium supplies were running short on the analyst desk for NA, they're going to have to wheel out Veli or some of the other analysts to maybe give you guys an
predictions
idea
broke it.
Their thoughts. Exactly. We're going to have a little bit of a deep dive as to what the analysts and other casters may have predicted when it comes to at least the best regions. So